That's going to be cover of Modern Drummer magazine is going to be devoted to that drum fill.
They were one of the biggest bands in the world, selling over 75 million records. But behind the success of The Police lay a toxic relationship that would ultimately destroy them from within. For decades, fans have wondered what really caused the band's bitter breakup at the height of their fame. Now, Stewart Copeland is finally speaking out with explosive accusations that point the finger directly at Sting. What he reveals about their final recording sessions, the power struggles, and Sting's alleged ego-driven behavior will shock longtime fans. This isn't just about creative differences, it's about betrayal, control, and how one man's ambition allegedly destroyed one of rock's greatest partnerships. The foundation of conflict. To understand Stewart Copeland's accusations against Sting, we need to examine the fundamental power struggle that consumed the Police from their earliest days. What started as a collaborative trio gradually transformed into what Stewart describes as the Sting operation, with the bassist-turned-frontman systematically taking control of every aspect of the band. The conflict wasn't immediately apparent to fans, but behind the scenes, a battle for creative control was raging. Stewart Copeland, the band's founder and drummer, watched as his vision for the Police was slowly hijacked by Sting's growing ambitions. The band that Stewart had created as a punk reggae fusion was being transformed into something entirely different. The tension became particularly acute during the recording of their later albums. Stewart has described feeling increasingly marginalized as Sting took over not just the songwriting but also the production decisions and overall artistic direction. What had once been a democratic process became a dictatorship. The financial implications were enormous. As Sting wrote more songs and took greater creative control, he also claimed a larger share of the royalties and publishing rights. This created a hierarchy within the band that left Stewart and guitarist Andy Summers feeling like hired musicians rather than equal partners. The breaking point came during what would become their final album together. Stewart watched as Sting's ego and need for control reached levels that made collaboration impossible. The studio battles and creative tyranny. Stewart Copeland's most damning accusations against Sting are about their final recording sessions, where he claims Sting's behavior became so controlling and dismissive that it made working together impossible. During the recording of Synchronicity, their final studio album, Stewart describes an atmosphere of creative tyranny. He has stated, "My animosity was that he was an egomaniac, but he was my egomaniac. I discovered him. It was very clear that he was the golden goose, but he was my golden goose." The most explosive revelation concerns Sting's alleged treatment of Stewart's musical contributions. Stewart claims that Sting would systematically reject his ideas, dismiss his input, and rewrite his drum parts to suit his own vision. What should have been collaborative sessions became exercises in humiliation. Stewart has been particularly vocal about one incident during the Synchronicity sessions where Sting allegedly told him his drumming was off and needed to be redone. Stewart's response was explosive. "We'd have fistfights in the studio. We'd be rolling tape and we'd be at each other's throats." But that was the energy. It was a horrible, horrible experience. The situation became so toxic that the band members were recording in separate rooms, communicating only through the producer. Stewart describes this period as a time of healing because we were in separate rooms. We weren't even talking. Perhaps most tellingly, Stewart has revealed that Sting's control extended beyond just the music to the band's public image and business decisions. The ego that destroyed everything. According to Stewart Copeland, Sting's ego became so inflated during the Police's peak years that it made any form of collaboration impossible. Stewart's accusations paint a picture of a man whose success had corrupted his ability to work with others. Stewart has been brutally honest about what he sees as Sting's character flaws. He has stated, "It all became about the song. The song was king, and Sting wrote the songs. So it was a Sting operation, and he made sure that we all understood that." The ego problem, according to Stewart, manifested in Sting's increasing demands for creative control and his dismissive attitude toward his bandmates' contributions. Stewart claims that Sting began to see the Police not as a collaborative band, but as his backing group. Stewart's most damaging accusation is that Sting deliberately sabotaged the band's chemistry to establish his dominance. He suggests that Sting's confrontational behavior and refusal to compromise were calculated moves designed to force his bandmates into submission. Could a musician really be so manipulative as to destroy his own band for the sake of ego? The breaking point came when Stewart realized that Sting had no intention of returning to a collaborative approach. Speaking about Sting's post-Police attitude, Stewart has said, "The Police was a very constricting environment for him. He had to have 2 other knuckleheads in the room telling him his new song was crap." The Final Betrayal and Abandonment. Stewart Copeland's most serious accusation against Sting involves what he sees as the ultimate betrayal: Sting's decision to abandon the Police at the height of their success without any real attempt to resolve their differences. The end came not with a dramatic confrontation, but with what Stewart describes as Sting's gradual withdrawal from the band. Stewart has revealed that Sting simply stopped showing up for work, stating, "He just didn't show up for work anymore." This abandonment left Stewart feeling not just professionally betrayed, but personally devastated. What makes this betrayal even more painful for Stewart is his belief that it was entirely unnecessary. He has suggested that their problems could have been resolved if Sting had been willing to compromise or return to a more collaborative approach. Stewart's accusations extend to Sting's handling of the band's legacy. He believes that Sting has systematically minimized the contributions of his former bandmates in interviews and documentaries about the Police. Perhaps most tellingly, Stewart has revealed that despite their success and the potential for future collaboration, Sting showed no interest in preserving their partnership. The final insult, according to Stewart, was Sting's immediate launch of a solo career that seemed designed to prove he didn't need the Police. The lasting damage and unhealed wounds. Decades after the Police's breakup, Stewart Copeland's accusations against Sting reveal wounds that have never healed and resentments that continue to fester. His ongoing criticism shows how deeply the band's demise affected him. Stewart's most recent statements about Sting show that time has not softened his anger. He continues to blame Sting for destroying what could have been one of rock's greatest ongoing partnerships. The fact that Stewart is still speaking out about these issues decades later reveals the depth of his feelings. The impact of the Police's breakup on Stewart's career has been significant. While he has found success as a composer and in other musical projects, he has never again achieved the level of fame and success he enjoyed with the Police. Stewart's accusations also extend to Sting's current attitude toward the Police's legacy. He believes that Sting continues to minimize the contributions of his former bandmates and takes too much credit for the band's success. The tragedy of Stewart's accusations is that they reveal how personal animosity destroyed one of music's most successful partnerships. The Police could have continued creating music together for decades, but according to Stewart, Sting's ego made that impossible. Today, Stewart Copeland continues to speak out about what he sees as Sting's responsibility for the Police's demise. His accusations serve as a cautionary tale about how success and ego can destroy even the most successful creative partnerships. Stewart Copeland's explosive accusations against Sting paint a devastating picture of how ego and the hunger for control can destroy even the most successful bands. His claims that Sting's behavior was responsible for the Police's demise reveal the dark side of rock stardom. Whether you believe Stewart's version of events or not, his accusations highlight the fragile nature of creative partnerships and how quickly success can turn toxic. The Police's breakup remains one of music's greatest tragedies, made even more painful by the personal animosity that continues to this day. So, what do you think about Stewart Copeland's accusations against Sting? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell for more untold stories from rock music. Thanks for watching.